I'm going to show you how to restore a cat. Yes, a cat. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, I bought this outdoor metal sculptured cat from an antique centre. I'll put the link to the video I made whilst buying it in the video description. But since I've had the cat at home, I've discovered a couple of things. First and foremost, the most important thing, it isn't actually an outdoor cat. I'm going to show you how I've discovered that. It's an indoor sculpture, this thing, made for inside the house, not for outside. Plus, of course, it's not really a cat as you think of a moggy. It's an exotic cat, a cheetah or a leopard. So I'm going to restore it. I said I was going to restore it, so I'm going to restore it. Obviously, you're looking at it now unrestored. We don't know how this is going to go. But it only cost me 59 quid, so it's not going to be the end of the world. Obviously, this thing, cheetah, leopard, has been outdoors for a very long time, so he's rusted. So come and have a look at this. Wendy, our camera operator, will come around. Come around here, Wenders. Let me just show you. So look at the plinth. Can you see how badly it's rusted? The metal is literally, you know, just crumbling away. And you've got these carbuncles here, which I'm going to chip out in a second. But first of all, no, let me show you this, Wendy. I'm just going to look at the back paw. Have a look at this back paw here. Can you see how absolutely rotten that is? So we need to fix that. I can do that very quickly. Come back to the base, please, Wendy. I'm going to show you how I know that this cat was actually designed to sit indoors. Look at this. This is fabric. A fabric base. You would never in a million years put a fabric base on a metal sculpture that was supposed to live outdoors. So it started life as an indoor sculpture. Where this thing was made, I'm not quite sure. Possibly Africa, but it's absolutely handmade. I found a very similar example actually in better condition than this. Sold on First Dibs, the mainly American antique and art site, about $1,000. I paid £59 for this. That one was in better condition, but I think I'm going to get this to somewhere near, at least to half the standard of that one. So if I'm fortunate, I'm going to improve the value here to at least 500 quid, $500 thereabouts. So Wendy, what I'm going to do, I'm going to chip away these carbuncles first. So old upholsterer's hammer and an old chisel. Let's give it a go. I'm going to show you this, Wendy, on the underneath this leg here, where, I mean, this is the only thing that's actually holding the cheetah leopard onto the stand, but you can see how rotten it is. I'm going to dig that out, and I'm going to put the rust remover, or rather rust sealer hardener, in here afterwards. Get a wire brush maybe, hang on. I'm going to put a mask on in a minute. This is going to get very messy. I'm just going to brush this down. Now, all of this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because it is a one-off piece of sculpture. So if it's got scars and marks and obvious holes where the metal has literally just crumbled away, don't worry about it. Don't be too precious. It is a piece of art, and it's a unique piece of art. So it's going to look an awful lot better. And like everything, as it ages, often things you just get better with age when they show their age. That's how I feel. Luckily, let's take off the loose bits of fabric, clean up that metal. I'll quickly do the other side. So Wendy, if you just come over and have a look at this here, it's probably not as bad. I might have to remove that bit of fabric, we'll see. I'll just chip away here. See, all of this is crumbling now. But again, it's not the end of the world. The actual, the strength of the thing, what's left of it, is good enough. I think we need to remove the whole base, Wendy, so let me just tip it maybe more towards me so I can see what's going on. Let's just get rid of this. Yeah, that's rotten, isn't it? Right, okay. Wendy, I'm going to put my mask on. Because this is going to be horrible stuff to breathe in, isn't it? Right. And what I'll do then, this rotten bit of metal, I'll put the rust hardener on there, and that'll solve that problem. Right, so I'll do all of that, but what's going to be the most interesting job is the body, because if you come closer, let me show you the metal here. Can you see the raised bumps representing the spots or the rosettes of a cheetah or a leopard? So, mask back on, sandpaper, let's just see what it looks like, and then I'll solve the metal rust problem. Unbelievable. You can see, can't you, immediately how this thing is going to be transformed, and the little raises, those rosettes and roundels for the animal itself are really now coming to life. What I'll do now is sand down this area, get my mask on, and then I will put the rust remover hardener on. So I'll do that. I'll come back in about half a second. Okay, so a little bit of preparation work done. Now, Wendy, if you come over here, please, I'm going to turn our cheetah over, and let's now secure the rusty metal. So use something like this Hammerite Cure Rust, simple enough, buy it from any DIY store. It literally, as it says, transforms rust to a stable surface in 15 minutes. So it's absolutely fantastic. I should really be wearing gloves, so wear gloves, but I will be very careful. So you shake it up, pour it into a container, and then simply brush it on, working it into the surface. Again, you really don't need to be overly precious. Once it's on, it's doing the job. Now this will darken down, it'll almost turn the metal black, but we'll work with that. It might actually end up forming part of the new design of this restored or renovated indoor cat sculpture. But it really will convert that rotten rust, weak rust, to hard metal. It's a remarkable thing. I might end up just simply putting some black Hammerite paint on there to seal the rust, so I don't need to do very much more there. Let's go to the pour. So this is going to stop the rust from getting any worse and stop the metal from, as it did earlier on, literally drop off. Right down the side now, Wenders. So we'll continue with that and be back in a second. 15 minutes later, and I did say that the rust converter stuff would make the base go black. I mean, it looks like I painted it. I promise you I haven't. That's the colour it goes. But the rust is now sealed and solid. That's fine, but it means I'm going to have to paint the base. I'm going to come back to that. But here's the fun bit. I did try this side a moment ago with the sanding down. Now I'm going to do the whole thing and then I'm going to wax it. I forgot to put my mask on. Wendy, honestly. Health and safety. Look at those. Absolutely designed into the original manufacturing. Those rosettes, those roundels have been lost, you know, over time as this thing has rusted outdoors. We're going to bring them back to life. Now I'm going to bring the head up. And what we're going to do, Wend, is just focus in on his face. Let's see how he transforms, if he does. Kind of a stain here. Well, could be a tear mark. I think it's the, what is it, the leopards? Leopards or cheetahs? Cheetahs, I think, have tear marks, so we might just convert that to a tear mark. Oh no, it's coming off, so that's all right. Just going to sharpen his eyes up a little bit. Let's have a look at his ears, Wendy. See how they're rusted quite badly in there. Let's take a little piece out, clean his ears out. Look at this foreleg here. That's quite nice. I like this look here that's wearing away where the claws are and along the forearm. That's rather nice. When I wax it, I think that will really come to life. Right, 20 minutes hard graft, sanding, going through loads of sandpaper. Now, the idea is I'm going to wax him using furniture wax, but really good quality stuff. This is stuff that I made years ago. Don't try and buy it because I ran out and I haven't got around to making any more. But it's beeswax, traditional recipe. We've got clear. You could use brown if you wanted to. It wouldn't make any difference. And I'm just going to wallop it all over because this good traditional beeswax works well on metal, as you can see. Go and have a look at this, Wendy. And on old leather chairs as well as furniture. Now you can put it on with a cloth. I love just to simply put it on with my fingers because you really get into all the little nooks and crannies. But take a look at what we've actually exposed. Look around there. All these lovely roundels. So I'm hoping that the wax, once I've buffed it, will give it a nice sheen and a patinated antique kind of, well, bronze, not bronze, but antique metal look. I'm going to have to paint that base, but we'll do that afterwards. And if this doesn't work, if it fails miserably, then I'll have to paint the whole thing. Let's have a look. Let's turn him upside down like that. If you come around this side, Wenders, come around over this side. So look at that. I mean, when this thing was made, I'm guessing mid-20th century, 1950s, 1960s. You can see, look at the weld marks, Wendy. Have a look at those weld marks. I mean, it's incredibly crude, so you'd think that there wasn't very much skill going on here, but the skill in actually forming that body and making these raised marks beaten from the inside prior to being put together is quite immense. So it's a bizarre thing, very bizarre. Certainly the only one I've ever come across. Again, you don't have to be too precious. Just bung it on, because we're going to buff it off in a second. Lovely, very tactile. And one of the bonuses actually of using your fingers when you're putting wax on furniture or sculpture is that great pleasure you get in the tactile nature of a product. And it's absolutely wonderful. Let's get onto his face, Wendy. Right, I'll continue, be back in a sec. Well, take a look at him. So he's had a complete body massage in gorgeous beeswax furniture polish. And look, already he's looking absolutely lithe and sinuous. It looks like there's lots of movement going on here. So now he's still wet with oil. Oh, come on, Rosie, come and have a look at your new friend. And let's give him a buff up. Right, I think Rosie's going to quieten down now. Let's keep buffing. So the body shape, the muscles are on show here, the sinews, and vitally important. Yeah, I mean, vitally important. Look at the raised marks there. The spots of the cheetah. Right, give me a couple of minutes. Well, it's finished. Nothing impresses Rosie, but hopefully you will be adequately impressed. Don't you think he looks gorgeous? This is now an indoor cat. You've noticed I've polished the base as opposed to painting it. Just think it looks better. So there he is. He's indoor. He cost me 59 quid plus a couple of hours work. He's gorgeous. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.